Okay. Thank you for being here. I would like to get to know you a little. I can adapt a little bit the presentation depending on your role or your preferences. Let me ask you some questions. Do you like to learn? Raise your hands. Yes, not, no? Yeah. And what are your roles? Developers, UX, UI, project manager, clients. Do you know the meaning of metacognition? No? Okay. The last, are you using artificial intelligence in your projects? Nice. Okay, let's start. During this session, I would like to share with you that using data, Drupal, and a little bit of artificial intelligence, we can build a personalized learning experience. We will look at the importance of data, the power of Drupal as the platform, and how to achieve metacognition. The origin of the project that I'm using for the presentation for the talk, in the origin, the data were in different formats and in multiple storage, like databases or warehouse. In the origin, there were a bad learning experience because the user, the learner, have a lot of platform where they have to join, log in, and to look for the content of the training material that they want to do. But they have to look into different platforms, not only in one. And there was not learning analytics or data-driven. The client is not taking decision based on the data because the data is so difficult to be consumed or to be integrated in other platforms or tools. Let's start with the first part. This is data. Data is the key, the quality of the data. It is a real example. It is one of my last blood test, and I had 3 values higher than the correct values. You can see in orange. The doctor told me that it could be a syndrome that 25% of Mediterranean population has. And I think, oh, no, I have a syndrome. I'm sick. I'm going to die. But no, because I'm here. A month ago, I changed the address where I live, and my sister-in-law works in the health system, and she makes the change to address of my address to receive my postal notification from the health system. And she told me, hey, it is okay, all it's changed, you will receive the notification, the postal notification in your new house. But 15 minutes later, she told me, hey, Houston, we have a problem. In the public health system, you are a woman. This was the error in the data because the context or the variables are not correct. I'm fine. I don't have a syndrome. I'm not going to die now. This is so important to define good variables and to collect etc. data and accurate data, because in the future we will use in other features. What are we doing? We decided some years ago to use xAPI. This is Experience API. It's a standard for learning technologies that make it possible to collect data about the experience of a person has. xAPI is a language that is easy to understand for all the roles involved in projects, like developer, designer, product owner, project manager, and also clients. This is so basic. This is the basic structure. we have an actor that is the person that is doing the action. The verb is the action taken by the actor, and the object is the object the actor acted on. Let me show you two simple examples. In this case, Katie completed course A, and Paul viewed course B. This is so simple, it is easy to be understandable for all the human. And let me add a more complex example. We can add additional metadata to the statement that we are going to send to a learning record store. For example, in this case, to the actor, to the persona, we can add extensions. This is an example, like AD data or user profile data, like the country, employee title, type, location, and for example, from the profile, therapeutic area, organization, function, indication, branding, and support. Also, in the verb, we can add metadata like result, rating, or status. And in the object, like a course, we can add like categories, subcategories. If a course is part of a learning path, this information will be in the statement, and also the type of object that the user or the actor is interacting with. For example, if it is a PDF or a video or a Tinka. At the end, all the activity that happen in the platform, in our Drupal, are sent to the learning record store. This is LRS. And here we can see what is a learning record store. It's a data storage system that serves as a repository for learning record collected from connected systems where learning activities are conducted. Why are we using a learning record store? Because if you remember at the beginning, in the origin, all the data are in different platforms and in different storage or warehouse. And now, all the data is stored in the same place. We have all the data that happen in all the platforms, all the learning platforms, in the same database. This is the learning record store. And this is an example of integration. Power BI is consuming the data. In the LRS, the information is stored in JSON format, and Power BI don't understand JSON format, and it's better to implement a connector, a BA connector, and then Power BI can consume the data using like SQL schema. Okay, this is the first revolution. Previously, each application had its own data schema and its own warehouse. It was not easy to consume and use the data together. Now, we have standardized the data schema, and the data is stored in a common place. This is easy to store, easy to consume, easy to integrate. And it is saving time. If you work in machine learning projects or AI projects, you know, around 70% of the time is to clean and prepare the data to training models and to have quality data. With this kind of solution, we can have the data ready only to be consumed or to be used to train models. Okay, second part of the presentation is Drupal as the solution to build a learning platform. I'm going to be, I don't know how many time I have. Oh, 10 minutes? I have only, oh, okay. Let me only mention the feature if I want to save 5 minutes for you at the end. Okay, I'm going to mention the feature. If you want to know more, we can come back. We have single sign-on and multi-factor authentication, and also Active Directory synchronization, the data. We have all the data of the users that we can use for the AA part, okay? Because we can add contextual information in the artificial intelligence. We have multilingual, currently is in 11 languages. We can improve the user experience, and also we can take into account this information. For example, if we use agents to help in the learning process, and we can provide information or the responses from the agents in the language of the user. We have the centralized learning activities. All the activities happen in our Drupal. We have providers integrated, but people, learners, don't have to go to Coursera or to SumTotal to do the training. We have all, and then the user can access easily to all the training material. Okay, Drupal is collecting all the activities, all the learning activities that happen in the platform and are sent to the LRS. We have a workflow and content moderation. This is a complex workflow. There are 4 or 5 roles, different roles involved, and the affiliate or countries of the people are taken into account. We have feedback, favorite, rating. These are like feedback and social information that we can use, for example, when we are implementing a recommendation system. We have notification in system and email, and also we can personalize the notification to the users. The content access is based on audiences. The audiences concept is like the group module from Drupal. And we have the user with a profile with this data, area, affiliate, organization, function and role, and also therapeutic area, product and indication. And the audiences have the same, can be defined using rules, and each rule have the same values that the user profile, and then a user, a learner, if matched with an audience, can see the content that is assigned or included in the audience or not. And I think it is the last feature or main feature. It is Search API Solar. We are using Solar, and we have ponderated the values of around 45 fields from the contents. And also, the information, when the user are using the search functionality, the system is getting the data and is stored in the LRS, the Learning Record Store, and this kind of information can be used to improve the recommendations. This is a schema of the infra. Let me continue. And this is the end of the second revolution. Previously, users had to access various platforms and search for their trainings. Their progress and history was in different applications. Now, Drupal is the common place where they have all the learning information they need, and with a common user experience. We have Drupal as the main learning platform where learning is happening. We are collecting data using xAPI and storing it into the LRS. Next step is to look for personalization, artificial intelligence. Okay, it was one of my questions at the beginning. What is metacognition? Metacognition is the awareness and understanding of one's own learning process. The process used to plan, monitor the progress, and evaluate one's understanding. Let me use some examples. In the planning or in the plan cycle, in the step of the cycle, the plan is what I need to study. How will I study? What resources do I need? In the monitoring, I am understanding the material. Is this studied method working? For example, are flashcards helping or should try summarizing the material. And in the evaluation step, did I learn everything I planned to? What worked well and what didn't? And do I need to adjust my study plan? This is adapt. This is iterative, and this is a cycle. Metacognition promotes creativity, autonomy, resilience, self-management, self-regulation, and critical thinking. These are 3 simple examples of trying to understand the metacognition. Katie does better when reading PDF than when watching videos. Paul finds it difficult to interpret information in diagrams and graphs. Sassy finds it easier to understand the materials when they are in French. Let me use here, this is some example, is what is the data that we have is in the left column, what is the correspondency in the metacognition in the right column. For example, we have data in the xAPI about self-assessment, feedback, and ratings. Then, from the metacognition, we know that we can suggest a self-quiz to the learner before or after the content, or propose to revisit material. What are we doing? We are using RAG. We want to help learners with metacognition. And next step is to add this as a feature in the learning platform. We are using RAG approach to add the metacognition learning feature. This is the flow of RAG is the learner write the prompt, the system in the retrieving looks for the information in our documents and vectors. This is a private, I don't know, do you know what is a RAG? Yep. Okay, it's like using like ChatGPT, and we have here the LLM is like ChatGPT or GPT, okay? And we are adding here the part that is retrieval augmented. Is the user write the prompt, the system go to our private database or documents, get the contextual data, and then the LLM, ChatGPT, can produce a better response, a personalized response, based only in the data from the company. And then generate the response to the user. Why are we using RAG? Because it is so important to provide responses using the information, the internal documents from the organization. For example, if we have a document or in internet, or the model is trying with a document talking about the Canadian health system, maybe it's not accurate data or information. The company wants to provide or to respond to the user only using the information that the company wants. Okay? It is to reduce also hallucinations or data invented in the responses. You know, GPT invent or hallucinate sometimes. To provide accurate and updated responses, we can manage the source of the information and apply security restrictions. And we can adapt the response from the GPT because we have the information that we saw before. We know what is the function of the user. And for example, if the system launch or propose a quiz to the user, if the user is doing a course about or related to the Canadian health system, then we can personalize the last step in the response based, for example, in the function of the user, of the learner. If the user is from legal, the response can be focused in questions related to legal. If the user is from marketing, then the questions of the quiz can be related to the marketing. This is about the security layers. We have the first, it's in blue, is about only, or the RAG model is using only the documents from the company. Second is about the source. This is where we are storing. We have different sources depending on the project, and the information can be or not shared with different projects of the company. And the last is based on the security of the documents. Currently, we have the identifier, the type, and the role of the users. Because, for example, we have learners and publishers. And maybe, depending on the question from the learner or the user, the agent should provide or should use a document that is available only for publishers and or only for learners. Let me show you. This is an example. This is all from the user guide, but the manual for publishers. This information is only should be only available for publishers, not for learners. This is the workflow. We have a diagram that I shared at the beginning, in the middle of the presentation, and this is defining the workflow. This is in the manual of the publishers, and they have to know how to manage the content to be published. Yeah. Then, here, the user can ask to the agent, hey, can any role move a course from draft to retire in the workflow? Then the agent responds, there is not a direct action that any role can take to move an entity from draft to retire in a single step. This information should be available only for publishers, not for learners. This is an example of the quiz. These are quiz generated by the agent. And this is, for example, a user asking for the main ideas of the course that is taking, but the course is in English. But the user is asking to have a resume of the main ideas in French. This is a reflection between, this is about recommendation systems. It is like the Netflix model or using chatbots. I don't have time. But this is, I have more examples, but resuming, we can improve the persona's learning experience. We can help people. This is the third revolution. A teacher can personalize the learning experience of 1 or maximum 5 students. But what happens in big platforms or classes? Teachers cannot personalize it. AI is here to help to personalize the learning experience, is here to help people, to help teachers, and to help learners. These are questions for reflection. Are you aware of your metacognition? Think on it. It was, for me, it was a surprise. I discovered a lot of things about me. Can AI help us to understand metacognition? And the last, is Drupal plus data plus AI a good approach? I'm from Singular company. It's a technological innovation company. This is my name, Raúl Bordallo. I'm the portfolio lead in Singular. We are hearing. Thank you for being here.